Good morning, people of the grid. Today is the big day. Hey there, Tammy. It's a big day. Today is the 4-year anniversary. 4-year anniversary of the LightRunner. It's March 31st, 2019. 4 years ago, on March 31st of 2015. Remember that big truck that pulled in front of our house? I wasn't even there.
Because you were at a meeting.
Tammy was the first to drive the car and to see it arrive. And then I made it home after my meetings, and I got to see the car, and
I got to drive it first.
What a big day that was. We'd never sat in a Model S. We'd never
seen one.
Touched one in person. We only saw pictures and other people's videos, and that's what gave us enough confidence to go ahead and buy one. And it was an epic experiment at the time, which had to work. I mean, we bet
it was him bugging me.
Yeah,
Can I get a car? Can I get a car? Can I get a car?
We sold our Dodge Grand Caravan, which was our family vehicle that did everything. That did all the heavy lifting for our family. So that whatever we got next, the Tesla Model S.
We had tested electric vehicles with the Leaf, right? We had the Leaf for a while.
We had the electric vehicle experience. We knew it could work. We just needed a car that would give us unlimited range, or as close to unlimited range, as close to a gas vehicle as we could get at the time. And that meant getting this car, which had the biggest battery at the time, the most range at the time that Tesla offered. That's what we configured. That's what we got. This video is to cover off where are we at 4 years later.
You forgot one part of the story, which was we had actually ordered the X first.
Yes. That explained, that's another story of how we get to 2 Teslas. I'll save that for another day.
Another day?
Another day. Today is about the LightRunner and what it's done for us in the last 4 years, how far we've gone, how much we've spent on it, what we've liked, and what we haven't liked. And spoiler alert, that second list of what we haven't liked
is huge.
No, I don't even think it exists, really. So,
no,
yeah. Fasten your seatbelts. Here comes some data. Hey guys, we're just doing a quick errand. We've got our kids making brunch.
Wait, I thought we were going for tea.
Oh, you want to go for tea first?
Yeah, we could stop on the way. There's a spot on the way.
I'll do a U-turn and get a tea.
Okay.
So, just wanted to tell you, when you're looking, it's all my tools. When you're looking at buying an electric car, my recommendations from the 7 years with the Leaf and the 4 years with the Model S and the 2 years and a half, almost three with the X, is still the same as when we started looking for ours, which is get the biggest battery so that you can go the furthest. Hands down, I think that's been good for us.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
And then, you know, there's things that'll come up, like all of your friends will ask you, what are you going to do when the battery dies? I mean, the answer is, I'm just going to go to 7-Eleven and buy 7,000 more AA batteries. Like, what's the big deal? The battery doesn't die. If it does, the manufacturer warranty covers it. We're still under warranty. What?
If it's usually a user error.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Like, the Leaf has been fine. The Tesla battery has been fine. And so there's really no need to replace the battery. I don't think, and we've had this car 4 years, I think we'll easily have it another 4 and beyond.
Well, the Leaf, I mean, 7 years and we've lost 1 bar.
There's no need to replace it. Yeah, so, and even if you have to, by the time we have to replace it, which would be in 15 years, 16 years, it would probably cost the equivalent of what a gas engine would cost. So $3,000 to $6,000 to $7,000, somewhere in that range. But I really don't foresee needing to do that. So far, the car's been awesome. There's been just minimal things that we've had to fix. They fall into 2 categories. Category 1 is the stuff that you'd have to do to any car. I've captured all of that, and when I go through the numbers in the spreadsheet, I'll share with you, because I have had to replace the windshield. We have had to replace the tires. But you got to do that in any car. But I thought, just to be fair, I don't want to leave anything out, because this is like any car. So to give you a true comparison, we count that. Because it might cost more for a Tesla than it costs for any other car. I don't know. So it's in there, and I'll give you those numbers. For the most part, though, the magic number for me, what it comes down to, and the same is true of any EV that we have in our family, is the amount it costs to propel it. And that's an important number, because regardless of how much you spend on the electric car, The amount to propel it for us has been less than 2 cents per kilometer. That's the average. It's about it's just under 0.016 cents per kilometer. I'm backing in here. 0.016 cents per kilometer. That's cheaper than riding a motorbike. That's cheaper than riding public transit. It's cheap. So this car has been really good that way. And I've driven it right now 181,597 kilometers.
Crazy.
That's a lot of gigabits. Yeah. You look pretty.
Thank you.
What?
You said 0.016.
1.6 cents per kilometer, or 0.016 dollars. That's what I meant. Thank you.
See?
So in that 4 years, we have managed to take this car all over the place. I mean, we've done some pretty significant road trips.
I'd love to do more.
Love to do more? We will. Our favorite one of our favorite ones, was our trip to Disneyland that we did. That was when we first got the car. We got it in 2015, and it was that year.
At the end of March today.
Got it today in March, and it was that November that we drove to Disneyland with 6 of us. So the other thing that we looked for in a car was a car, of course, that carries all of our family, which we are Tammy and I and 4 kids. So we need to seat 6. That's why we got the rear-facing seats in the back, which even 3 years later are still good for 2 of our younger kids, Samantha and Melissa.
Yeah.
Samantha's kind of getting a little too tall, so probably next year she won't fit back there.
But
She'll have to.
She can sit up here.
She can sit.
Does most of the time.
So Melissa will have the whole back to herself.
Yeah.
The other thing that we got when we ordered up this car, it was important, was because we do a lot of outdoor stuff with the kids and with us, we have roof racks and a Thule box.
Yeah.
The other stuff is in the winter, and that's a big thing that everybody who doesn't have an electric car, that's the one thing they seem to know about is, oh, they don't work in the winter. No, they work just fine in the winter. We've driven it every winter. We've actually gone to tournaments in the winter. I use it for work in the winter.
It's still our main car.
It's our main car. So the effect, or there is an effect on the battery in the winter where your range is reduced somewhat, but you just charge. I mean, when I go to meetings, I charge while I'm at the meeting. When I'm at home, you can charge there. When I'm out, I charge at the hotel. So I've never really been caught where I've been short of range.
ABC.
Always be charging. In the 4 years, I have run out of juice once. It was my fault. I was pushing it and I didn't listen to what the car said. It'll tell you, you know what, you're not going to make this trip. So you punch in the coordinates, it'll tell you right away. You're going to make it or you won't. And if you won't, it'll find a charger for you. And of course I ignored that. So you don't want to do that. Don't be like Mike and ignore charging stops.
New owners get, there's a new referral program too, right?
There is also a new referral program, that's right. So I'm going to put my code right here and we'll put it in the notes below. And if you get a Tesla, you can also refer other people to buy a Tesla. That referral code will give people 1,500 kilometers of free supercharging. I don't know how many kilowatts that translates into. Tesla does the math for us, but you'll get some free supercharging. So if enough of you, you know, like 5 or 10 buy Teslas, you'll get the free supercharging, and I will too. I don't need it,
yeah, like
but it'll stack up. So if we do buy a new Tesla, which at some point we probably will, we'll be able to use it.
It would last me forever.
It would last you forever.
If I got $1,500 or 1,500 kilometers.
Yep. But next we'll dive into the numbers, so I've got to get back to my computer for that. So please hold while we transition to my computer. Hey there guys, here's the numbers. So let's dive into it. When we got the Model S, the full cost for the car, for a set of winter tires with rims, and for a set of 4 services, which was I think $2,000 at the time we pre-purchased the service. The total price, including taxes, Canadian, came in at $134,151.65. So that's what the car cost us 4 years ago. Take a look at the charging profile here. The blue is charging at home. So 33% of the time for all of the distance, which is right there, the 181,625.7 kilometers. I just checked the car. That's what it's at right now. 33% of the time we charge here at home. 26% of the time we charge it at destination chargers. So that's when we stay at hotels and they have a charger, or if there's parking lots with chargers, or IKEA, or any of those types of places that offer free charging, that's the yellow. And then the 41% is charging that we've done on the Tesla Supercharger network, which with our car is free for the lifetime of the car. So that's by far for me, because we do a lot of road trips and I do a lot of trips with work. That's been the majority of the charging. So that means what, 67% of the distance that I've traveled has been paid for either by Tesla or public charging. That's pretty decent. Some other things that I track, you can see the total kilowatt hours that we've gotten from HPWC. That's at home. Here at the house, our charge for electricity per kilowatt hour is about it's about 6 cents per kilowatt hour, just over 6 cents per kilowatt hour. There's the delivery fees and all that, but you got to pay that anyways. The charge for the pure electricity is about 6 something per kilowatt hour. It's pretty affordable. Tesla kilowatt hours, how many we've gotten from them, and then how many kilowatt hours I've gotten from public. I've also started tracking. I went back and I added up all of the times we've hit the Tesla Supercharger network, just so I can see how much use I'm getting out of it. A lot, 417 charges off of the Superchargers. And then just some averages on my watt hours per kilometer and my electricity cost. That electricity cost, by the way, is the cost that, you know, for that charging at home, how much it's cost. So I can actually say that for me to drive 181,000 kilometers, it's only cost a total of 1,100 Canadian dollars. That's really, really good. That gets me to the cost per kilometer, where you can see over the lifetime of the car to propel it. Again, that doesn't factor in the cost of the car. To propel it, every kilometer that it's driven has cost me 1 cent. And if I expand that field, it's actually, what does it come to? 0.006 of a cent. So it's actually less than a cent, just over half a cent. It's pretty decent. The maintenance of $5,000, let's take a look at what we've spent, because not all of that was even necessary maintenance. In the second year of owning the car, we had a bunch of windshield chips and cracks, and so there it is. That was the windshield that we replaced. In the 2017, that $585, what was that for? That was windshield repair, so we had a bunch of chips, and I paid somebody to fill them with that acrylic stuff, which helps prevent the spreading of the crack. It worked really well. So I spent $73 there. The $511.81, that was an optional upgrade. You don't have to do that. I just chose to because I know we're going to keep the car for many years, and the original unit behind the screen was a 3G modem. We upgraded that to an LTE modem so that I'd get faster map updates, and it just future-proofs it for a few extra years. So that was a spend that you didn't have to do, but I opted to do it, and I'm tracking it because it sort of is, you know, money I put in the car. And then $42 to swap to winter tires. 2018 was a big year. Spent a fair bit of money on the car there. So what did we do? $880 was, again, something that I accidentally did. I was backing up the car, and you know those little parking cement blocks? This one was really high. And when the car backed up, it just sort of settled on it. And as I drove off, it wrecked some of the plastics underneath. So it was just something that was bothering me. I didn't have to fix it. We did. We chose to. That was $880 because we did it outside of insurance, so we just paid to repair that. The summer tire swap again. And then I had to buy a new set of winter tires. So that was $1,300 for a really good set of Hakkapelitas. So 4 of those. Those are what are on the car right now. We're going to be switching to summer tires soon. So that was last year. And then this year, we've also spent a little bit on the car. So if we take a look at what we've done this year so far, there was the service. Now I'm outside of my original services that we got when we paid for the car. So the 5th service, that was $339.29 to replace a light bulb, and my handle on the passenger rear seat, it wasn't coming out. So there's a little gear that they replaced for me there. And that was it. Oh yeah, and the battery in the 339, the 12-volt battery that powers all of the electronics. After that long of a distance of driving in 4 years, they suggested it might be a good idea to replace the 12-volt. I agreed, so we did it. So that's it. That's kind of the breakdown for what we're at right now at 2019. A lot of distance driven on the car. If you factor in the full cost of the car and divide that per kilometer driven, that's what that 77 cents is down below. So that's just kind of tracking over the lifetime. And to give you an idea, like our van, see, our van after driving 172,000 kilometers, it was down at 56 cents. So the longer you drive, you get it, the cheaper the car becomes. Same thing for our Nissan Leaf. The Leaf is sitting right now, in 2019, at 65 cents. That's the cost of the car divided by all the money we've spent on it and how far we've gone. It's at 65 cents. So the Tesla Model S is approaching that range. I think within probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years at the outside, it will be as cheap as our previous gas van was, and it's doing really good. So really happy with the numbers. The big question then becomes, would we buy a Tesla again? And the answer is absolutely. In fact, if at all possible, all of our future vehicles that we buy will be Teslas. I'm just so happy with them. Even with, you know, we've had the one little door handle thingy where it wouldn't present on the driver's side. That was fixed under warranty. I think, the airbag was replaced under warranty. We just haven't had any issues with it. The brakes are in great condition. They checked that on the last service and they said, you're good for another 4 years probably. So hopefully we'll see. Tires, you know, we've been going through tires at about the same rate as we do on any other vehicle. Windshield washer fluid, just like any other vehicle. Windshield wipers, just like any other vehicle. So for the most part, it's what you're used to with a regular car, but the cost savings is big on the powering the vehicle. You do got to charge, you got to plug in, but for the most part, that looks, you know, what that looks like is you come home, you get out of the car, you plug it in, you forget about it until the morning. Or I show up at a hotel for work, I plug in the car, forget about it until morning. If it's during the day, what I'll do is I'll plug in during a meeting while I'm parked and charge it up. Or while I go for lunch, I'll plug in, charge it up. I get more than enough range to make it through the day. That's my winter strategy, by the way. Summer strategy, you don't have to charge during the day. Winter strategy, if you're at a parking lot that has a plug-in, plug it in because it will help. And then you don't even feel that issue with the degradation that you get due to the cold weather. I've got a ton of videos and information on what happens in the cold and in the deep snow. We've been through all of it. We've been through freezing ice, all that stuff. It makes it through just like any other car, like a champ, except it just keeps going. So that's why I would buy another one in a minute. I'm working on that. Got to win the lottery first. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions. This is kind of a milestone for me because the 4-year mark was a really big one. I'm very happy with where we're at with the car and what it's looking like and looking forward to the next 4 years.